Should you become an auto body tech in 2022? The purpose of this video is to help you figure out whether this particular occupation is for you. We're gonna go over salaries, the jobs market, injury rates, fatality rates of this particular occupation. But first, what is an auto body tech and what do they do? Auto body techs repair and refinish automotive vehicle bodies and straighten vehicle frames. Often they're using power tools and hand tools to file, grind, sand, and smooth filled or repaired surfaces. Before beginning a job, an auto body tech will review damage reports, prepare cost estimates, and plan work. They then inspect cars for structural damage. There's a lot of different kinds of work that an auto body tech will be involved in. This could be removing damaged body parts, realigning car frames and chassis, hammering out dents, and fitting, attaching, and welding replacement parts into place. The ultimate goal is to make vehicles look like new. This particular occupation is one of the most male-dominated occupations out there, with 98% of auto body techs being male. Also, about 90% of auto body techs self-identify as white Caucasian, 6% African American, and only 2% Asian. In 2020, 13 auto body techs died on the job. 3 of these fatalities were caused by being struck by a vehicle, and 3 were caused by chemical exposure. 13 fatalities is quite a bit, but it's not as much as, say, fishermen, loggers, truck drivers, construction laborers. All of those occupations have a much higher fatality rate than this particular occupation. And even with this fatality rate, you can actually tell that this actually isn't too much of a dangerous occupation when you compare this particular occupation against the average occupation. Auto body techs have a much lower injury and illness rate than the average occupation, with about 94 illnesses or injuries per 10,000 people. So this isn't a terribly dangerous occupation, but accidents do occur every now and then. Injury and fatality rate is one thing we go over in our particular course, Choose the Right Career. If you are having difficulty choosing a particular occupation, we have the course for you. Choose the Right Career is a 7-step process to go from 1,000 potential occupations to that one right career for you. We look at your interests, your personality, your values, how much money you want to make, and where in the US you want to live. Check out the link below for more details. One huge advantage of becoming an auto body tech is that there isn't much of a barrier to entry when it comes to education. In fact, according to the Occupational Information Network, 23% of employed auto body techs don't have a high school diploma or GED, 42% do have a high school diploma or GED, and 35% have a high school diploma plus some kind of certificate. So this is one of those occupations you can get into without an associate's degree, without a bachelor's degree. You don't have to go deep into debt to get into this particular occupation. You can typically get in right after high school. But there are a couple certifications that you should be aware of that will help you stand out from the crowd when trying to become an auto body tech. One of my favorite ways at looking at job postings is just using the Google search engine. They actually have a great job posting platform. They pull in jobs from a lot of different sources. So this is a great way of looking at different auto body tech jobs. And what I want to show you here is a lot of these job postings require a specific kind of certification, the ICAR or ASE certifications. They're usually described as a bonus. Like, it's usually not under a requirement for the job, but it helps you kind of stand out a little bit if you have the ICAR or ASE certification. So this can definitely help you get certain jobs in this particular occupation. So this is a great platform to look into. I've actually seen certain job postings that actually even pay auto body techs commissions. But in general, if you're trying to become an auto body tech, you'll get everything you normally would: a 401k, paid short-term disability, paid vacation and holidays, usually overtime pay as well. And like I said, I saw one particular job posting that actually gives them commissions, so another way to boost income. So those 2 different certifications can definitely help you stand out as an auto body tech, and it's fantastic that you don't really need to go deep into debt to get into this particular occupation. Another thing to keep in mind is about 8% of auto body techs own their own business. This could either be in the form of being a 1099 contractor, where they freelance themselves out to different clients, but this could also be owning your own shop. And that can really potentially boost income. There's no stats on people that own auto body shops and how much revenue, how much profit they're making. But in general, like, this is definitely a business that you can go into and really boost income. Speaking of income, we're going to get into wages. In 2020, the average base salary for an auto body mechanic was $49,430. This was more than small engine mechanics, but this was a little bit less than aircraft mechanics, auto service mechanics, diesel mechanics, glaziers, and heavy vehicle mechanics. We can also look at auto body tech base salaries. This is nationwide over time. In 2016, the average base salary for an auto body tech was $45,180. By 2020, this rose to $49,430 nationwide. But here's the thing, there's certain parts of the US that actually tend to pay auto body techs a lot more than others. One of the best places in the country to be an auto body tech in terms of wages, I found, was actually Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh has a really cheap cost of living. Housing isn't too crazy down there. There's a lot of people migrating down there. But when you look at Raleigh specifically, it actually looks like a great place to be an auto body tech. The US government found that the average base salary for an auto body tech in Raleigh was $75,460. And when you factor in benefits, which include your retirement, sick leave, vacation, total compensation rises to around $98,000 per year. And all of this is before any overtime. So there's definitely certain parts of the country that tend to pay auto body techs a lot more than others. Raleigh's one of them. I think it's like Midland, Texas. That was another really high paying place for auto body techs. So if you're really interested in this occupation, just keep in mind there's certain parts of the country that have a much higher average base salary. And the reason for this might be just the type of industry in that particular town. Not entirely sure why Raleigh is such a high paying place for people in this occupation. If you know, let me know down in the comments below. Next, we're going to get into the demand of auto body techs. How many job postings are out there, and has the number of employed auto body techs been rising or falling over time? According to the US government, in 2016, there was around 144,000 employed auto body techs. By 2020, this actually shrank to 137,000 employed. This might be due to COVID. Less and less people were driving their vehicles. There's a lot less accidents in 2020 due to COVID. In fact, I remember getting money back from my car insurance company, USAA, and they were basically telling me, because you drove very little last year, we're actually going to reimburse you. So this could be one of the reasons why the number of employed has fallen recently. It's mostly because of the pandemic. So when or if the pandemic eases after a while, maybe employment will come back up. But auto body techs have seen a little bit of a slide in the workforce over the past couple of years. We can also look at job postings, and that kind of gives us a real-time estimate of demand for auto body techs. On Glassdoor.com, I found 3,147 job postings. On Indeed, 8,879. And LinkedIn, a staggering 51,244 job postings. So when you look at the number of job postings against the number of employed, it actually looks really great. And this is mostly because of LinkedIn. There's a lot of job postings on LinkedIn related to auto body kind of work. So even though, according to the government, the workforce has shrank a bit over the past couple of years, when you look at job postings, it actually looks like there's plenty of opportunity out there for auto body techs, especially on LinkedIn. Next, we can get into, would this occupation be compatible with your preferences and your personality? One thing people like to do when they're choosing a career is take a Myers-Briggs personality assessment, figure out their preferences, and then compare their preferences to other people in different occupations. They didn't actually have auto body techs in the MBTI book. They only have auto mechanics, unfortunately. But according to the Myers-Briggs company, the most likely type to become a mechanic is the ISTP, also known as the crafter. Number 2 is the ESTP, the entrepreneur. 3, ENTP, the debater. And number 4, INTP, the thinker. So notice that all 4 of these types have a preference for thinking over feeling and a preference for perceiving over judging. So if you took a Myers-Briggs personality assessment and you got similar results as one of these top 4 most likely to become auto mechanic types, this occupation might be compatible with your preferences. So I hope this particular video helped you figure out whether becoming an auto body tech is for you, or maybe it's not for you. I definitely have a lot of other videos on a lot of different other occupations. Definitely check them out. And if you want me to cover a certain occupation, just let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.